So I could walk over there and talk to that guy. Right now, I could probably walk over there, but I have to, like, stop every step and heal, because you take damage for stepping on it, but I don't think it'll outright kill you in one step. But that's only got a really small amount of it. There's other places with a lot more of that. One second, someone's sending me a message. What is this? Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, it's not a normal town. That's why I've been avoiding it. We're getting close to the point where we're just gonna kind of be done. You know what I mean? Like, all that's left in this game is leveling, really. Like, yes, there's some more items to pick up, but the only thing keeping us from picking them up right now is leveling. So really, all we need to do is level up. Like, we need to level up so we can pick up, so we can fight that guy to get the armor. We need to level up so that we can, you know, get over to Cantlin and defeat the golem and get the magic sword. We need to go find the tokens so that we can get the sunstone, so that we can go to the final boss and be able to level up so we can get through that whole dungeon and defeat the Dragon Lord. And that's it. That's all we need to do. Yeah, we need a training montage. Exactly. Oh, I got like South Park stuck in my head. Remember last time I played this, someone asked me, so they had been playing the new Final Fantasy. I don't mean Final Fantasy Remake. I mean the new Final Fantasy 7, but I don't mean Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I mean the Final Fantasy 7 that came out like on the PSN store. And the newer versions of when they have ported Final Fantasy 7 and some of the other Final Fantasies too, they've done this with it. They've added in like cheat codes into the game where it's like, you know, hit L3 to make yourself invincible, or hit this button to fast forward, or hit this button to make yourself do 999 damage all the time, or whatever. I don't know exactly what the cheats are. But they've added these cheat codes into the game. And it makes it to where you can just kind of cakewalk yourself through the story, and just, if you just want to experience the story, you can just experience the story. Or if you've beaten the game 20 times and it's just nostalgia for you and you don't really care about worrying about leveling or anything, you can just hit a button, right? Which is fine. But someone was asking me last time I played this, why didn't they add those to this game? And I'm like, if they added something that made you invincible to this game, you could literally almost just walk straight to the end and be done. Like, it without the grinding, there's almost no game left. Like, it's literally the game. Like, what are you going to be doing if you're not grinding? Like, say you were max level at the very beginning, right? You could walk immediately to Rimmeldur and buy keys. Like, immediately. And then you could walk immediately and get the harp. You could take the harp immediately to go get the staff. You could go in there, fight the green dragon on your way to Rimmeldur the first time and save the princess. You could just go get the armor right now, not have to worry about whether you can beat him or not, right? You could immediately get you wouldn't have to collect all the equipment other than to be able to do enough damage, right? So you could immediately just go and get the token, get the sunstone, and go to the final boss and beat him. So it's like, the game would be over in like 30 minutes. But would you have really played it? You know? Like, I understand with a game like Final Fantasy VII where there's like a story and you're experiencing something even if you take the difficulty out of the game. But with a game like this, if you take the fighting out, there's not like there's that much story, you know? Like, what's left? Okay, that's an Axe Knight. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, it's an Knight Errant. This is very similar to the boss that we're going to have to fight to get Erdrick's armor. Except the boss we're going to fight, instead of being a Knight Errant, is an Axe Knight. And he is stronger than that. Is this not the right... No, okay, yeah, we go this way. Cut through the forest, I see. Oh, we missed. Oh, but he missed too. Okay. We missed and I was like, uh-oh. What's left? 5 minutes of gameplay, run to... Yeah, it'd basically just be run to point A to point C to point A, B, C, D, E, F, G, done, right? Like, the in-between would just be non-existent. I mean, like, most RPGs, you know, there would be something left because there's story, right? There's not much story in these old NES games. Okay, there's a green dragon on the overworld here. This is what we fought to save the princess. It's just chilling here on the overworld. This one seems stronger than the one we fought to save the princess. I can't... He's damaging as fast as I'm healing. Run. Run. We're screwed. Yeah. That's a stronger green dragon than what we beat before. Dang. I think all we lose is half our money, so that's fine. We're about to level, so that's good news. That matters more than the money right now, honestly. About all we need money for anymore is we want to buy a flame sword. After that, I don't know that we even need money anymore, so death has little meaning other than making me walk back from here. So clearly we need to grind some more in the southern area here before we head over there, because like if we're going to be running into green dragons like that, we're going to need more before we do that. Like, I'm trying to push it to get that flame sword, but we just need to get some more levels first. So we're about to hit another level right now already. We saw that when we talked to the king. Let's just we'll get that level and maybe one more and then we'll try again. We should level up pretty fast if we fight the guys that are down here near Harkness. Like, this is one of the weaker ones down here, and he gives us what? 42 XP? It's not bad. We'll just fight in this area. What's this guy give? 78, yeah, okay. So yeah, we're level 14 now. Let's get to level 16, and then we'll try to make the trip to Cantlin again. I still feel like we should go get the Flame Sword from Cantlin before we try and get Erdrick's armor from this town here. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I feel like I remember that fight being hard. Holy Protection spell. Only got one spell left after that. Wards off weaker monsters. Okay. You can use that to run through the low level areas faster. Armor's helping a lot. Yeah, it's repel. Exactly. I don't know how much the Flame Sword costs either, so I mean, we might not even have enough for it, even if we had made it to Cantlin. I think it cost even more than magic armor, honestly. So even if we wanted to go over there, we probably need to grind up some more money anyways. And this seems like a pretty good place to get money. So this is like a multi-purpose grinding area here. I feel like we should grind in this desert right here until we get a couple more levels, and then maybe grind inside of this town, because the monsters inside of this town are stronger than the monsters outside of the town. Hey, do we one-shot those guys now? That's great. Yeah, I think we're only an hour in. We got 3 hours left of the stream tonight. I think we're definitely going to beat this tonight. Oh. I think this is going to be a 2-night game. That's my prediction. I think Final Fantasy 1 is going to probably be a 3-night game. But I think this will just be a 2-night game. I have no clue how long Persona is going to be. I hope it lasts a while, though. I was getting all my games ready. Like, I know it's like I have a lot of time before we actually get to the later games in the series, but I'm just kind of like getting all my ducks in the row, right? I'm ready to play them when we get there. I'm really excited about some of the other games that we're going to be getting to in these three series we're doing right now. And when I play through these games, like for the ones I've never played before, I'm essentially playing them blind, right? I'm not going to look up a guide or anything. But for the ones that I've played before, I'm going to be trying to do like a 100% style run, right? So like for Persona 3, 4, and 5, we're trying to get all the social links. For Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 9, most of the Final Fantasies, honestly, we're going to be trying to like not only beat the game, but like do all the side quests, get all the ultimate equipment, beat all the optional bosses. Optional bosses we're not going to get to, most likely, are going to be ones like that require another playthrough. Like fighting Margaret and fighting Elizabeth. We're not going to be able to fight them because we'd have to play the game twice. And I'm not going to play like Persona 3 or Persona 4 or Persona 5 back to back, you know, like 2 times over. Those are really long games already. That could be like a future project once we have a save file for them. Because we're like, I have 100% save files for 3, 4, and 5, but we're playing a newer version of each of them, and the save files don't work. Like, I can't use my Persona 5 save file with like almost a completed compendium and all the social links maxed out for Persona 5 Royal because it's a different game. I think I still get a bonus for having that save file, but it's like a tiny one, you know? Like, I don't get like all the thing. Like, if I'd played New Game Plus in Persona 5, I would be mad. I would be like decked out. But playing it on Persona 5 Royal, we're not. I think we get some money, maybe. Yeah. Anyways, so that means when we get to things like Final Fantasy, especially, because of these 3 series we're playing, I know Final Fantasy the best, easily. That's easily true. I feel like Final Fantasy also has the most of the optional additional content. Like, and correct me if I'm wrong about that, but like Final Fantasy tends to have a lot more side content, optional content, in-game content, optional bosses than like Shin Megami or Dragon Quest. Not that Shin Megami and Dragon Quest don't have those things. They do. A lot of times with like Shin Megami, like the Persona games, though, if you want to do like the optional boss, it's like a new game plus only boss or something. We're not going to get to that either. Now, I have heard that in Persona 1, there's like this quest called the Snow Queen quest, which I think is it like an optional side quest? The only reason I've heard about this is because I heard that in the original, it was like cut content, right? Like, it didn't make it into the original, but I think it's in the remake that we're playing. So I don't know what I gotta do to do the Snow King quest, and I'm playing the game blind, so I may just miss it. But that, depending on how long Persona 1 is, I may consider playing through part of it again to see the Snow Queen quest, if I have to look it up afterwards because I couldn't find it. The only mention we've had of the Snow Queen so far in our playthrough of Persona is the Drama Club mentioned it on that very first day. When everyone was telling us to go to the hospital, when we went to go talk to the Drama Club, they were saying, hey, what play should we put on? And one person mentioned doing the Snow Queen. And they didn't even get to finish it. It was like the snow and it got cut off. And then someone was like, oh, does he mean the Snow Queen? And it was like some kind of controversial thing or something. I don't know what that was about. It hasn't really come up again since then. I don't know if I've missed some triggers or if it's just a later thing in the game. But if there is some kind of optional quest, I'd like to try and do it. But I may miss it my first time through because we're not playing with a guide. Yeah, I've played Final Fantasy a lot more than Dragon Quest and Persona myself. I've played Persona 3, 4, and 5. As far as Shin Megami in general, I've played some Shin Megami Tensei 4. I've beaten basically none of the other ones. I've played a lot of Nocturne, but I didn't actually finish it. Which Nocturne is what, Shin Megami Tensei 3, right? So I'm really missing out on most of that. I've beaten Digital Devil Saga 1, but I didn't beat Digital Devil Saga 2, so I haven't actually finished the Digital Devil Saga. And I haven't really played the Devil Survivor or Devil Summoner games, so I'm blind on most of the Shin Megami series. On the Dragon Quest side of things, I've beaten about half of them. And of the Dragon Quests that I've beaten, there doesn't seem, to my mind, to be much like of what I'm talking about, like the optional dungeons, the in-game dungeons, the side quests. Like, it's not that Dragon Quest doesn't have a lot of content. It does. It just, none of it really felt like optional or sidey. You know, it's like you have all these little extra things you're doing, but it's kind of part of the main quest, or you finish the main quest and there's a second main quest, or, you know. Dragon Quest in the games that I've played has a tendency for you to like beat the final boss and then find out that there's this other thing going on, and then the story just keeps going, and then there's a different final boss, and then maybe it does that again. Like, I'm not like keying in my brain on like an exact example, but like Dragon Quest 11, like you beat the big guy that's been like the boss this whole time, only to find out, oh well, actually this other thing's going on, and the story keeps going, and I'm like, am I in the end game now? Is this post game content? Oh shit! I just died. I'm not paying enough attention. Well, you know what? We're worried more about levels than money right now. We'll be fine. I'm dying a lot tonight. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So in Dragon Quest 11, like I beat like the final boss, and then the game just kept going, and there was more story, and it felt kind of like main story, and I'm like, was that the final boss, or like, am I in the end game? Am I in the post game? Or is this just the next chapter of the main story? I couldn't even tell. And, you know, kudos to them for that. And so that was Dragon Quest 11. And then when I played through Dragon Quest 7, I kind of got a similar feeling, although not as strongly. Where, like, you kind of, like, beat the game, quote unquote, and then, but not really, it just keeps going. Same thing with, like, Dragon Quest 3. So I get that feeling a lot with them sometimes, where it's kind of like, well, that's the final boss. Oh, but wait, there's more, you know? Like, Final Fantasy does that to a certain extent, but Final Fantasy, it's usually like immediately, right? Like, you'll be playing Final Fantasy 9 and you'll beat like Trance Kuja and all that stuff. You've defeated Kuja, and then suddenly Necron, and you're like, who the hell is Necron? Like, who is this final boss I'm fighting? I don't understand. Whatever, let's just kill him. You know? Or like Final Fantasy 4, you're fighting through the whole time, going after Golbez and trying to stop what's going on, and then you get to the end and it's Zeromus, and you're like, who the hell is Zeromus? Like, whatever, let's just kill him, you know, like. Less so in like 5 and 6, like you fighting like X-Death and like Kefka. Kefka was clearly the boss the whole time, you know. Or like Final Fantasy 7, you fight the many different versions of Sephiroth and Genova, which that's pretty on point, right? I'm just thinking about final bosses now. I like that we can use the princess's love or whatever to check how much XP we need to level too. I haven't really been doing it, but it's nice that we have that option to just come in here and be like, hey, Princess Siri, 1165. Thanks, Princess Siri. But yeah, even like bosses aside, like Final Fantasy tends to have a lot of like bonus dungeons or like optional bosses, or I'm trying to think of examples. So like in Final Fantasy 1, in the original there wasn't much. I mean, that's fair, it was an NES game, right? But in all the remakes, you've got all these extra bonus dungeons that are just completely bonus. With like souped up gear you really don't even need, but you can go get and cast haste and stuff with your fighters and all kinds of craziness. So that's cool. Let's see, 2. I don't know 2 that well. I beat 2 on stream like 8 years ago, but I don't know 2 that well. I can't think of much optional side stuff in Final Fantasy 2. Even in the remake. Maybe I don't know some stuff. At the end of 2's got kind of like a change up-ish. Like you sort of like beat the Emperor and then go to hell and beat him again, sort of, in Final Fantasy 2. That was a interesting in-game there. Let's see. Final Fantasy 3, I can't think of much. I think you have like some optional summons you can get in Final Fantasy 3. But as far as like bonus dungeons or anything, I mean, I may be forgetting one. I feel like there is a bonus dungeon in Final Fantasy 3. Isn't there? Like there's the Crystal Tower and all that, but isn't there like some other in-game dungeon that I'm not thinking of? Hey, Canamitis, welcome to the stream, man. And I just want to take a moment to thank you two, like Godly Snack, Chris, Canamitis. These last week or two, you guys have been like the bedrock of the viewer chat situation here, and having someone to talk to helps so much. And it you know, regular viewers is what makes streaming worthwhile, you know? Like, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not making any money. But I do it to talk to people like you. So thanks for coming by, guys. It means a lot. Where were we? Final Fantasy IV. Man, I almost need to like get a guide out and like look them up, because I just don't know them that well as far as like extra stuff in a lot of these older games. I feel like the farther you go forward, the more there is, though. Like, let's say like 7, right? Let's get out of the 16-bit era. Once you start getting up to 3D graphics, like Final Fantasy VII's got like the weapons you can fight. Like some of the weapons are like what, like Ruby and Emerald and Diamond, right? Only like one of those you actually have to fight for the story, right? So you've got that side content. You've got the Chocobo racing and the Chocobo breeding, so you can make the gold Chocobo. So you can get lots of optional summons. Like, for instance, you need the gold Chocobo to get Knights of the Round, which is the most, like, the longest and most ridiculous summon ever. Which, whenever they get around to making Final Fantasy VII Remake 2 or 3, or whichever one they're finally going to get to the end of the game with, I really can't wait to see a modern version of Knights of the Round, right? Like, with the way it works in 7 Remake, you summon the summon and it fights with you for a while. You gonna have like all 12 Knights of the Round Table fighting for you? Like, how's that gonna work out? Or are they just gonna cut it from the game? I hope not, because that's like iconic to Final Fantasy 7. 7's like the only one that has Knights of the Round, right? Like, other ones have like Alexander, and everything has Bahamut, and like Bahamut, Ifrit, Shiva, Rama, like those are like in all the summon, all the Final Fantasies that have summons tend to have those. And then you have the more rare ones like Alexander. He's in a bunch of them, but he's not in every one, right? But you know, like Chocobo and Mog, they tend to be in there, but they're not in everyone. Fat Chocobo is less common, but he's in a couple. But then like Leviathan's in most, but not every. But Knights of the Round, I think 7's the only one. And I could be wrong, but that's all I can think of. Alright, let's see. What are we farming for today? We are farming for the end of the game today, Canamitis. We're gonna try and beat this game tonight. But in order to do that, we need to farm up basically 10 more levels. Now, if we were to farm right here for 10 more levels, we would not finish it tonight. We're just not going to get XP fast enough to get 10 more levels right here. But if we can get a little bit more powerful, we can go and buy a flame sword. We can go and buy some more upgraded armor. And then using that flame sword and that upgraded armor, we can level even more. And having leveled even more, we can then go in here and get Erdrick's armor, which then will have the best armor in the game and the second best weapon in the game. And then basically we'll start working on going to the final dungeon. But we're going to want to grind up to like level 20 before we do that. Like before we head for the final dungeon. And then we're going to want to grind like another 4 levels in the final dungeon before we try and fight the final boss. So basically we got some grinding to do. But we're on the track for the end of the game at this point.